गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः। श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता षोडशोऽध्यायः। दैवासुरसम्पद्विभागयोगः। श्रीभगवानुवाच अभयं सत्त्वसंशुद्धिः ज्ञानयोगव्यवस्थितिः दानं दमश्च यज्ञश्च स्वाध्यायस्तप आर्जवम् अहिंसा सत्यमक्रोधः त्यागः शान्तिरपैशुनम् दया भूतेष्वलोलुप्त्वम् मार्दवं ह्रीरचापलम् तेजः क्षमा धृतिः शौचम् अद्रोहो नातिमानिता भवन्ति सम्पदं दैवीम् अभिजातस्य भारत दम्भो दर्पोऽभिमानश्च क्रोधः पारुष्यमेव च अज्ञानं चाभिजातस्य पार्थ सम्पदमासुरीं दैवी सम्पद्विमोक्षाय निबन्धायासुरीमता मा शुचः सम्पदं दैवीम् अभिजातोऽसि पाण्डव द्वौ भूतसर्गौ लोकेऽस्मिन् दैव आसुर एव च दैवो विस्तरशः प्रोक्ता आसुरं पार्थ मे शृणु प्रवृत्तिं च निवृत्तिं च जना न विदुरासुराः न शौचं नापि चाचारो न सत्यं तेषु विद्यते असत्यम् अप्रतिष्ठं ते जगदाहुरनीश्वरम् अपरस्परसम्भूतं किमन्यत् कामहैतुकम् एतां दृष्टिम् अवष्टभ्य नष्टात्मानोऽल्पबुद्धयः प्रभवन्त्युग्रकर्माणः क्षयाय जगतो हिताः। ॐ तत्सत्। सर्वं श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु। Yes, I should. Hari Om. Could you please guide me? Where did we stop yesterday and how I should begin from? I think we completed the Sattva Shamshuddhi, right? Abhaya and Sattva Shamshuddhi, these two Daivi Sampati, we had completed.
Even Dana. We
Completed
stopped at
Dana.
Dana, I think. Yeah.
So page 94.
You can
Okay,
start from Dana and then continue.
okay, okay. So Abhayam, Sattva Samshuddhi, Jnana Yoga, and I will just browse through the main Devi Patti. First is Abhayam, Abha, fearless. Then Sattva Samshuddhi, okay, Antahkarana Shuddhi, Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti. And then Dana. Shankara qualifies dana, saying that it is giving according to one's capacity, a proper distribution. In giving, it is important not to place yourself in a position of having to receive later. Your giving must be responsible. It should not exceed your capacity. There is a limit which you stretch as much as you can, but you never exceed it. If because of excessive giving, somebody has to give to you later on, that charity is meaningless. Charity must also be given to a worthy recipient, and the one who gives must have a proper attitude. In the Shastra, it is said that if something is to be given, it is to be given with Shraddha, Shraddha Deyam. Shraddhaya Deyam, Kshamata. It is not to be given without Shraddha. Ashraddhaya Adeyam. You must know to whom to give, and in the giving, both the giver and the given should feel blessed. That is called dana. Dana. If you give to make the other person feel obliged to you, that is not giving. You give in such a way that the person who receives is happy and does not in any way feel small. That is real giving. Certain attitudes are important with reference to giving. If somebody gives something, however small, you remember it always. Your gratitude never decreases. But if you give, you forget about it. You may remember and feel fortunate that you had an opportunity to give, but that pride I gave is gone. You consider it an opportunity because you know very well that the situation could be reversed. Thus, if you can give without making the recipient feel small or obliged, it is giving. Everything is like that. Suppose it is your job to manage people. If you make them feel that they are not managed, that they work along with you, you are a good manager. If you can manage them without giving them a complex, you are a great manager. This cannot be contrived. It must be a genuine attitude towards your fellow human beings and certain facts. Jobs differ. Somebody is in a position to say, do this. Somebody is in a position to do it. But one is not superior to another. Duties differ. This is all there is to it. Why should you give? What do you get out of this dana? In giving, you part with something. Therefore, naturally there is a loss. But there need not be a sense of loss. When you give away, something, you may be diminished materially, but you do not become less than you were. In fact, you gain. In giving a gift, there is surely an element of joy. And further, even though there is a giving away, there is always a gain in that you are bigger than what you gave. Then again, to the extent that you can happily part with the things you love, you are free. Someone who does not have anything that he cannot happily part with his, sorry, I read again. Someone who does not have anything that he cannot happily part with is totally free. Your attachment to things is not such that you cannot happily give them away when there is a deserving person. Thereby, you grow richer. In India, dana is very common even today. There are hundreds of ashramas in Rishikesh, and all of them are run by public charity. Similarly, there is always abundant distribution of food because dana is a deep-rooted cultural value. In the village where I grew up, except for the rice paddy, food was never to be sold. It could only be distributed. I remember it being a small scandal when one woman sold ghee. It was considered a great sin. Once there was a proposal of marriage to one of the girls in our village from a rich family in the nearby village of Mayavaram. But neither the father nor the mother of the girl would accept the alliance because the father of the boy was running a restaurant. That meant he sold food and the money earned from that was considered papa because food should only be distributed. Even today in villages in Andhra, they will not sell any milk or milk products. Food is to be distributed, never sold. Also, the Kshatriyas in the Godavari district are not supposed to sell milk products. They consider it below their dignity, even improper to sell them. In Punjab, you will never see a beggar because food is distributed every day in the Gurudwaras. And it is rich, substantial food. The value for giving is very great in India. Even a poor person gives whatever he can for a value for dharma is ingrained in all people. It is so important because giving is part of growing up. So beautiful. So how important it is to give with proper attitude and to the proper recipient. If you want me to repeat anything, just let me know. Dhamma. Dhamma means control at the level of the sense organs and organs of action. You act deliberately and are not led away by your fancies. It is alertness with reference to your mind. It is purely a will-based value. Dhamma should be there in everything. Talking, walking, eating, moving around. Every expression must be appropriate. This is Dhamma. So it is a discipline for the sense organs and organs of actions. So first was fearlessness or abhaya. Second, sattva samshuddhi. Third, jnana yoga. Fourth, dana. And fifth, dhamma. Now, sixth is yajna. Yajna is performing daily rituals, which are of two types. One is called Shrot, Shrota, Shrota karma and consists of Vedic fire rituals like the Agnihotra, which are performed daily. The other is called Smarta karma, which consists of prayers, daily puja, chanting, japa, and so on. So the yajna includes Shrauta karma and Smarta karma. If anyone wants to share anything,
These both
Smart,
yajnas are daily, no?
yes,
Smartha and
yes. And yesterday I read in one of the Vedanta books, they say 5 types of yajna are must in our daily life. It was divided into Deva yajna, Manushya yajna, Bhuta yajna, Dev, Manushya, Bhuta, Pitru yajna, and fifth was so they are Deva yajna means our daily prayers and chanting. Manushya yajna means the karma yoga, whatever daily duties we do. Bhuta yajna means for the whole creation, like offering food to the birds or animals. Pitru yajna is paying gratitude to our ancestors on a daily basis. And the fifth was, right now I'm not able to remember. Manushya, Bhuta, Pitru. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not able to recall. I will once
With
again.
acharyas, your gurus.
I have read somewhere even the daily karma like Agnihotra also gives tarpan like it gives the
Hmm.
even पितरों के
Pitru.
लिए भी उससे फायदा होता है.
Yes,
Means
very
a daily if you are doing
Is it Rishi Yajna?
yeah, yes, Rishi. And these it was written that it has to be done on daily basis. It is like a must to nullify our choiceless papa karma. That is the word it was written so beautifully. Choiceless papa karma are like when we spray pesticide or while walking, maybe some insects are killed by unconsciously. So to
And what does the Rishi Yagna involves? What do we
uh,
do for that?
I think that is paying gratitude to our gurus and acharyas.
It is about, I think, going to the Shastra and reading and understanding. I don't know. I don't know whether this is part of the 5 yajnas. I just thought maybe it is Rishi Yajna.
Yeah, but it is like it was said there also that these yajnas are must. And yajna is like not in a literal forms like how we the karma kandis do. Yajna bhava. It is like with bhava when you are doing your duties or when you are offering food to the creation. They include everything. Your daily chanting, your daily japa, your daily prayers. Yeah. Shall I read ahead? If anyone wants to share.
If you can just enumerate the Shrauta Karma and the Smarta Karma one more time.
Yeah. Yajna. Yajna is performing daily rituals which are of two types. One is called Shrauta Karma and consists of Vedic fire rituals like the Agnihotra, which are performed daily. The other is called Smarta Karma, which consists of prayers, daily puja, chanting, japa, and so on.
Besides Agnihotra, is there any other fire yajna that is done daily?
When we light a lamp, I believe.
Okay. But wouldn't that come under Samartha Karma? Samartha Karma.
Even
Smart.
Gayatri, when we chant Gayatri, for that also we light the fire, no? In Upanayan, we have learned that, no?
Mm.
That also
Agnikarya.
comes here.
Yeah.
Agnikarya.
That's called Smarta Karma. Shrauta and Smarta. Shrauta is that's coming from the Shruti, from the Karma Kanda of the Vedas. And Smarta Karma is to do with chanting, japa, daily puja. Yeah, you can go ahead, Bella.
Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya is the daily recitation of the Veda and is considered a prayer that produces punya. According to the Shastra, punya can take you to heaven, etc., but it can also remove old papas which can hinder your spiritual pursuit. This is the type of punya that is sought here. Recitation of Veda, Veda Parayana, is considered to be a spiritual karma meant to produce a special punya which is converted into an atmosphere or situation wherein you can spiritually grow. So beautiful. How important it is, the Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya, the word itself is Swa Adhyayan. It is like self-study. And it makes a lot of difference when you are doing the Veda Parayana. I hope that those all Parayanas, like when we are chanting japa or when we are doing in a mass, that is considered as Parayana, or when we do it alone also it is called Parayana. I do not know that. Vishnu Sahasranam or Lalita Sahasranam, we do it.
I think all that does not come as Vedas. It comes as Smarta Karma.
Okay.
Chanting of, that is what we read, no? Smarta Karma, doing a daily puja, japa, chanting.
Okay.
Veda Parayana is specifically going to the Shruti.
Okay.
Vedas is Shruti is it's considered as Vedas, no? So
Yesterday, it was mentioned that you have to recite your chosen Veda. So those four Vedas are there, no? Rig Veda, Ajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharva Veda. So it is that, I suppose, chanting of those Vedas. But how do we know which is our chosen Veda? What we have to choose?
From the Gotra, I think. But Parayana is what you have a stipulated time period. In that, you have to finish that reading. Parayana is like that.
because I have heard this chanting of Samaveda and I don't know the other Vedas, Rig Veda and all that, but can't get any meaning out of it
But
because
getting to, when you consider Veda, even Vedanta is considered part of the Vedas. Vedanta is all the Upanishads. And I'm just trying to extrapolate this meaning of the Veda here. And Bhagavad Gita per se is considered also an Upanishad, which is given directly by Bhagavan. This is what was mentioned sometime earlier, maybe
it is
last
the
chapter.
fifth Veda. It's called
Yeah,
the
it's
fifth
called the
correct.
Mahabharata is called the Panchama Veda, and
Oh,
it's actually a Smriti, but because of the Bhagavad Gita, it gets the status of being a Veda. Because it's come, Bhagavad Gita, which is included in Mahabharata, is given directly by Bhagavan. So now it makes sense how Nana was urging us to chant every day, chant at least one chapter, then slowly go to 3 chapters and 6, and then the whole Vedas, the whole Bhagavad Gita, which he does till now, till date, from the last 25 years plus. He's been doing it every day. I used to wonder, why is he doing it? But now it becomes more evident. So when you chant the Bhagavad Gita, that also amounts to this Veda Parayana. I suppose we can cross-check with him. Because Bhagavad Gita is also considered an Upanishad. Upanishad is part of the Vedanta, which is part of the Vedas. So those of us who already know which Veda we belong to, and we are initiated into the Vedas, maybe then it's fine to do that Veda Parayana. Now it makes sense how we have in our Art of Living, we have we have a course for the study of the Vedas. I think it's a 6-week long course, Ancient Wisdom. But leaving that aside, for non-normal people who do not know which Veda they are to chant, they don't know how to do it, staying with Bhagavad Gita itself is, I suppose it will cater to that.
Yeah, so beautiful. But
Because it means the reason why we do it is because it produces a special punya, which is converted into a situation wherein you can spiritually grow into an atmosphere. So when you take this up on a daily level, daily basis, at that time, during that time that you're doing the chanting, your mind is not caught away by any other indulgence in any of the other senses. So that much Dhamma you're exercising. And when you keep reading, initially you'll just chant, and then you'll be keen to know what is the meaning. And then you go on to understanding the meaning. So therefore that the atmosphere for your growth, spiritual growth, will automatically develop. And that much less papa karma you will be engaged in that time. Instead of doing some XYZ's karma that might take you to papa karma, that time you're catering to. Like even this manana that we're doing every day is part of the swadhyaya, I suppose. Because we're doing it on a daily basis.
Very nice, very beautiful.
I mean, I just want to mention here, my younger sister was here recently for about 10 days. She and her family, and I was so inspired by her. She carried her um, Veda Mantras book. She was initiated into the Vedas. She's learned to chant them some years ago. but now she's not so much into the chanting, but she brought her book along. And whenever she had some free time, she would just sit and read the Upanishads, the Sanskrit meaning. She's got enough Sanskrit kind of grasp on Sanskrit, so she would just read the Upanishads. It was very inspirational for me to see that.
The
So
sister
that is,
who is in US?
yeah, the one who's in the, both my sisters are in the US. This is
Suma?
talking about Seema. Yeah.
Seema, yes. Oh, she's really into it. I was attending her, this one. Oh.
Yeah.
There in US. Oh, so wonderful. She chants very nice. Thank you. To introduce to her. You had given me her phone.
Yeah. So
And
that
her husband,
comes under this Veda Parayana. Specifically. I mean, that is fine for those who are initiated into it. Those who are not, I suppose staying with Bhagavad Gita itself is good. I think we can go ahead.
So beautiful, Manana. Yeah. So Swadhyaya. And now, tapas. Tapas here refers to any religious discipline. In the 10th chapter, there is a footnote, Gita, chapter 10, verse 5. Shankara defined it as Indriya Samyam Purvakam Sharira Pidanam. I will just read the shloka, 10th chapter, 5th shloka. Ahimsa samata tushtihi tapodanam yasho yashah bhavanti bhavabhutanam matta eva pruthagvidha. So, tapas here refers to any religious discipline. In the 10th chapter, Shankara defined it as ahimsa, samyama purvakam, sharira pidanam.
Indriya samyama.
Yeah, sorry. Shankara defined it as indriya samyama purvakam, sharira pidanam. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Kindly correct me if there is a mistake. Practicing various disciplines at the body level backed by a control of the sense organs. Many kinds of such tapas disciplines become a part of the sadhana that a jignashu undertakes. Now, here in the 16th chapter, after almost completing the entire teaching of Vedanta, Bhagavan again picks up the values that a jignasu has to cultivate for the assimilation of the knowledge. And in this context, he talks of tapas and is going to elaborate on the threefold tapas later in the 17th chapter. So here Shankara just says that this tapas will be elaborated later and proceeds. So that was about the tapas. I'm sure we all know the importance of our daily sadhana. However challenging it may become, but we must give priority to our sadhana. Even while reading yesterday, it was mentioned the tapas that we tend to like if there is some challenging situation, that is the first thing that we leave. That we'll do it later, but it should not be. Once we have decide that it is the first thing in the morning, then it has to be done, given priority. If one can say Sharir Peedanam, it may be uncomfortable in the beginning, it may cause certain discomfort, but you should continue practicing. Does it mean that?
It is disciplining the body. So practicing
Yeah.
various disciplines at the body level. No, down. Body level. Backed by control of sense organs. That's it, tapas. Indriya Sanyama Purvakam Sharira Peedanam. Good.
So before tapas, you read Swadhyaya. Before that, what was it? I forgot. I joined later.
Dhamma.
Dhamma?
Dhamma Yajna.
Okay. Control of sense organs. Yajna.
And
Okay.
before that was Dana.
Dana. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Before that, Jnana Yoga. Before that, Abhaya, Sattva Samshuddhi.
Sense organs are Yajna. Dhamma is control of the actions of karmendriyas and the sense organs. Okay.
Yes.
Sama is the control of the sense organs or mind control. Sama, Dhamma, Yajna.
Shama.
Going back to Dhamma should be there in everything. It comes with the sense with an alertness with reference to talking, walking, eating. So it is like you're disciplining your mind at the level of the sense organs and not led away by your fancies. This is the roadmap for all sadhaks. All of these beautiful things that have been enumerated. Abhayam, Sattva, Samshuddhi, Jnana Yoga Vyavastitihi, Dhanam, Damascha, Yajnascha, Swadhyayastapa, Arjavam. This Sharira Peedanam, I'm not sure, is not some disease for the body. No, it is, I think, control of the body by having a say on the senses.
See, you get some pain, no? While doing asanas. Suppose. So, you overcome that and do the asana daily. That is disciplining the body, practicing various disciplines at the body level, backed by control of sense. Both. So tapas includes both the.
It may be uncomfortable to begin with.
To get up. You see,
but we should not leave.
Leave it. We have to just go on doing it.
Like pranayama is considered the greatest tapas.
Yeah.
Because when we start doing pranayama, in fact, Gurudev mentioned this in Patanjali Yoga Sutras. He says, oh, pranayama, let me skip it. Let me go directly to kriya. So pranayama itself, because it takes a certain amount of control, that controlled breathing. You breathe into the count of 4 and hold and then breathe out. So that itself is tapas, is one of the greatest tapas.
See, we are getting up from when you sleep, that is tamas. You do some asana, that is rajasic. So from tamas to the rajasic to the sattvic. We have to go like that. So that is the disciplining.
Yeah, very nice.
Somewhere Gurudev has also said that you don't need to give a pain to your body doing all these things. That this is not tapa if you are um, uh, means when he has told some man was pulling the truck with his hair. So that sharirapidanam, that type of sharirapidanam is also not there. So tapa is restricted, means not giving much, because a machine can do that. So why you want to give that much pida to your sharira? So I get that glimpse also, how much we have to stretch our physical capacity and if it is needed.
Yeah, very beautiful. Read ahead now. Very beautiful wealth. Arjava. Arjava, as we saw in the 13th chapter, is an alignment between the mind, the word, and the action. I think it is in the chapter 13th, chapter 7. There is a notification, too much breaking of voice. If it is disturbed, just someone can help to take over, please. Chapter 13, verse 17. I will read. Just give me 2 minutes. इच्छा द्वेष सुखम दुःखम संघात चेतना धृतिः इच्छा द्वेष सुखम दुःखम
That's the sixth.
संघात.
Go ahead. That's the
Yeah.
sixth one. You're reading 13:7, right?
Yeah, chapter 13, 7th shloka.
That's amanitvam adambitvam. That's 7th sloka.
Oh, in my
13th is always the little confusion because the first
Yeah.
shloka is there in some texts,
yeah.
not there. Yeah.
Yeah, I will
Samanitam
read.
Madam, this one is actually the 7th.
Yeah. Okay, I will read that. अमानित्वं मदम्भित्वम् अहिंसा क्षान्तिरार्जवम् आचार्योपासनं शौचं स्थैर्यम् आत्मविनिग्रहः. So Arjava, as we saw in the 13th chapter, is an alignment between the mind, the word, and the action. It is speaking what one thinks and doing what one speaks. And this becomes complete when combined with Satya and Rita, where one has the value in constantly ensuring what one thinks is right in addition to speaking what one believes is right. I repeat once again, Arjava, as we saw in the 13th chapter, is an alignment between the mind, the word, and the action. It is speaking what one thinks and doing what one speaks. And this becomes complete when combined with Satya and Rita, where one has the value in constantly ensuring what one thinks is right in addition to speaking what one believes is right. There, in the 13th chapter, Shankara defines Arjava as Rju Bhavo Avakratvam. Kindly correct me the pronunciation. I'm not able to. Rju Bhavo Avakratvam. Am I correct? Straightforwardness and absence of crookedness. Straightforwardness and absence of crookedness. This is an important value for a Jignasu because any compromise in Arjava one does only due to Raga Dveshas. I repeat, this is an important value for a Jignasu because any compromise in Arjava one does only due to Raga Dveshas. And as long as Raga Dveshas determine one's actions, the assimilation of the knowledge cannot take place. That is why Bhagavan mentions Arjava in the 13th chapter, where he is enumerating the Jnana sadhanas. And he considers it so important that he reiterates it here and again in the 17th chapter. So Arjava is like without any mask. What is there in your mind, what is there in your thought, the same thing is in your action. So everything is aligned. Mind, word, and action, all of them are aligned. If someone can give further explanation about this line, and this becomes complete when combined with Satya and Rita, where one has the value in constantly ensuring what one thinks is right, in addition to speaking what one believes is right.
Walk the talk.
Okay.
What is the difference between thinking and believing here? What one thinking is right and what speaking, what believes is right. So you can have
Your
two
thought.
different.
Your thought will come out of your beliefs, right? That is how you will start thinking.
Okay. Thank you.
So we have to just catch these two words, straightforwardness and absence of crookedness. The only obstacle in Arjava is our own raga dveshas. We tend to behave according to our own likes and dislikes. But when there is Arjava, you do not compromise.
And I like the word jnana sadhana. It's so powerful. This is jnana sadhana, he says. No?
That is straightforwardness, means what you think you should do. That's what you think you should act.
Yes,
And
but
what you
sometimes in some situations, even though you feel this is right, you are not able
will
to
not
act.
act. That is not Arjava.
So that is why he is calling it jnana sadhana. So you have to practice it, however difficult it is, however uncomfortable it is. You have to practice this jnana sadhana. It's an abhyasa. Very nice.
Yeah, very beautiful abhyasa it is. Next is ahimsa. Ahimsa is the absence of hurting any living being. Here, not hurting is not only limited to human beings, but extends to all living things, including trees and so on. A hurtful act, like any action, can be threefold according to the means used: physical, oral, or mental. We deliberately avoid hurting any living being by a physical action. Although speech is also one of the organs of action, it is treated separately here. Mentally also, one can perform an action like meditation or prayer. Although one may have stray, unkind thoughts about a person, if they are entertained volitionally, it becomes a mental karma. A mere thought does not become a karma unless it is backed by an agent who is deliberately using his will. I read once again this beautiful trait. Ahimsa. Ahimsa is the absence of hurting any living being. Here, not hurting is not only limited to human beings, but extends to all living things, including trees and so on. A hurtful act, like any action, can be threefold according to the means used: physical, oral, or mental. We deliberately avoid hurting any living being by a physical action. Although speech is also one of the organs of action, it is treated separately here. Mentally also, one can perform an action like meditation or prayer. Although one may have stray, unkind thoughts about a person, if they are entertained volitionally, it becomes a mental karma. A mere thought does not become a karma unless it is backed by an agent who is deliberately using his will.
You want to talk about this mental karma now or during Manana? Can someone talk
As
about
everyone
it?
says, if you like, if someone wants to contribute, please kindly go ahead and share your thoughts. Or maybe at the end, as everyone says.
Yeah, during Manana we can talk about it.
Okay.
No, we can talk about it now as and when we have this, because sometimes it might just go beyond. So what do you understand by this mental karma?
That
Can you
volitionally,
just read
what is
that
that
one more time?
entertained volitionally means?
Yes.
And willfully you're taking, see, we all get stray thoughts. You might get a stray, unkind thought about some person. Arjavam is what? It is alignment of the thought, word, and the deed. So supposing you've got that stray, unkind thought, and you just let it pass. You're not volitionally, you're not voluntarily. Volitionally is willfully. Bringing in the agent there. That is, you are not owning up the thought and then you're working on that. Or that becomes a mental karma. If you let it pass, you're just like a witness. You're not taking any, you're not associating yourself with the karma, with that thought, unkind thought. But supposing you link yourself up and then you're building up on that, some unkind thought about, say, a person X, and it goes on, then you are doing a mental karma. That is what I understand.
Yeah,
We
shall
are
I read
giving
one more time?
encouragement to the thought. That is entertaining that thought mentally.
Because
So
that
thought
thought
will
will
come.
become action sometime.
Time
So we
afterwards, yes. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just read once again. Ahimsa is the
I would like to comment on this. My thought process is like that in this group, when we are even discussing, a lot of times, like non-vegetarian, we consider it to be bad. That is our thought process. And in spite of all the knowledge, whenever we are discussing, somehow it comes up that still at the back of the mind, somewhere in the inner recesses, we are taking non-veg food to be bad for people, etc. Those who eat not to be, will not grow spiritually, etc. If you see the Tibetan monks and all that, they do eat non-veg, but they are also spiritually so powerful. They have such a lot of knowledge. They are progressing physically fit, mentally into so much of knowledge. So I think even there, this uh, holds good, that with the knowledge, our awareness should come so that we encompass everybody, whether they are vegetarians, non-vegetarians, communists, democratic, no right or wrong. Only then will our belongingness extend to the extent required to make us believe that all of us are one, like, and then it's like Atma Paramatma, sort of like we are one with Paramatma. So I feel that in our discussion, so many times we have, in spite of this knowledge, Nana has shared that if everybody was vegetarian, that would not be enough. And yet, when it comes back to discussions, there is some amount of in our group. I thought this just came up for me. Unless we have that sense of belongingness with everybody, no right or wrong. Jai Guru.
Yeah,
even that
very
the person who is eating may not acquire any karma, but thinking we what we were thinking we will acquire the karma, mental karma because of that. And because we are judging and everything, doing anything, everything.
That could be because we have been linking that with himsa because that amounts to killing of an animal. Though when we eat vegetables, it also killing a life. But somehow it has been deep rooted in us, maybe me, that killing of an animal or so I have at least I have uh, linked it to himsa. And for me, if I have to survive, I need when I have some food available, which is could be in a lesser degree, it is himsa. I would opt for lesser degree of himsa rather than putting a life which can feel the pain or so. I may not do that, and that is why I link that to himsa.
No, what I am saying is how our mind has, because of the deep rooted knowledge that we had about Hinsa and Ahimsa, we
Mm.
label the other people who are non vegetarians as being lesser than us spiritually. In our
Okay.
discussions, it comes out
Yeah.
very clearly whenever we are discussing it. So, in spite of this knowledge, we are not able to wipe out that deep rooted angst that we have against non-vegetarians or communists or whatever we consider right or wrong, Russia-Ukraine war or whatever.
Yeah,
So
I get it. Okay, thank you.
labeling people as terrorists, like Muslims are terrorists, something like that. If you look at it, who are selling the arms all over the world? It's USA and Russia. And because of that, war has to go on. Arms is big business. They are superpowers because of the selling of arms. And if you look at it, how many places have they bombarded? And Obama gets the Nobel Prize. This is just another dimension that I'm giving, how our minds have been trained to believe, and we still are not able to, with this knowledge, come out of it, of being an acceptance of everybody. So many civilians died during Obama's time. How many bombings did he carry out in so many places? And yet he got the Nobel Peace Prize. And we consider him good. I would say he is a bigger terrorist than the others who are labeled as terrorists.
He got the Nobel Peace Prize even before he started anything. Just becoming a president, he got it. What a corrupt system, no? The whole world is controlled by.
No, this is the Maya of this world. We have to accept it as that, not corrupt, non-corrupt. Then that mind goes on like that. That is where we, being in knowledge, have to be grounded. Is what I'm saying. No right, no wrong. Okay, this is world. It's an illusion. And then
Jnana sadhana. Correct.
what can we do with this? What can we do about the situation? How we can, like Guruji said, took people out from Ukraine, stop the war. Like we got to do it. Maybe the government also was there part of it, but like with all our art of living volunteers, we got that. What can we best do in that situation rather than keep on labeling? We have to stop this labeling with no looking down on anybody. That belonging, we are also, everybody is our brothers, sisters, whatever way you want to look at it. That belongingness has to come. Unless that comes, then what is the point of all this knowledge? No looking down, right, wrong, nothing.
Samatva, that is what is samatva is, no?
I don't know so much of Sanskrit, but this is just my thought process. Has always been like that.
No,
What
that's
can I do in any
treating
situation
equally.
is the best.
No, treating
See,
equally.
I think, yeah, thank you for bringing this up, Parsiji. I think that right, wrong, vichakshana has to be there within us. That is what is viveka, so that you do things which are dharmic. Otherwise, you will not know whether what is right and what is wrong. That is one. At the same time, you go one step forward and you accommodate everyone. It is not like you said, you don't label people. But unless we have this viveka, what is right and what is wrong, what is dharma, what is adharma, you will not be guided into your actions. So, for our individual basis, yes, you need to know what is right and wrong. But at the level of the society, it is about accommodating them with this viveka inside of you.
Here, what I'm trying to say is that what we call is by looking at social media. We may say the Russia-Ukraine war, or you look at the Israel-Hamas war, whatever way you want to look at it, like we take sides and say this is wrong. I'm saying no, if you go deeper into, then I would say you study European history. You go back to the Industrial Revolution, how it boomed, how Europe was the superpower at that time. Then the wars took place, and then the boom finished, and there was no money to pay what they used to pay as social security to everybody. The war took its toll, and the Muslims who had gone to work in Europe, now they became second-class citizens. Then they formed groups, brotherhood, and everything of their own. And then now they are classified as the terrorists. Whereas the crusades have been going on from European times, Christians versus Muslims. And always these attacks have been taking place. So I say that go deeper into your knowledge base rather than classifying people as right or wrong. One has to really see the whole picture in its totality to really understand what the Middle East countries have been facing and who is a bigger terrorist. I don't want to start any controversial subject, but I have gone deep into it to study it, to see the psyche, how this has happened. And then from there, I am speaking that if you go back to the Industrial Revolution, if you have studied European history, from there you see, then you'll find that the Muslims are not so much as fault as we label them to be. Today, the whole world is labeling them to be as if you label terrorists and synonymous to that is Muslims. But I would say the people who are selling arms, who are the so-called superpowers, are the bigger terrorists who have bombed places like Iraq, Syria, and killed enough number of civilians through air attacks.
But taking that arm and
When you are
fight
talking
is,
about dharma, then what was the dharma of America and Russia? Was it to sell arms?
but
Now,
Persiji, two wrongs cannot be right, right?
no,
Because
I'm
they
not
sold,
saying that. I'm just
yeah,
saying don't sit in judgment You have to see the clear picture in its totality. We have to study that European history to know who is really at fault. How this European started the World War to become more powerful. And then that superpower status from Europe went. Today they are still thinking that Europe problems are their problems, are the world's problems. Where is not so. The world's problems are not Europe's problems. That is why there is so much of suffering in these places. I'm saying look at the whole picture than just label. Mongolia, there is no vegetation. They eat non-veg. Even Art of Living, Gurudev has, this is the one, I'm just sharing it. It's one country where they eat non-veg. And they are Art of Living devotees. So it's okay. I mean, I'm just saying that we need to take this out of our mind. We know what our dharma is, reaching out and helping people. We know what is right and wrong, but we
Mamota is
study.
important.
Yeah, we need to go through the whole picture to know the whole story rather than just go by labels which are given by social media. There will always be pro and cons against every party that is there. Jai Gurudev. Right, wrong, we should, yes, we should follow the path of righteousness. We should do our dharma that time. But in mentally, when we look upon others as right and wrong, that we need to change. Yes, like Gurudev says, you go to the extent of going to a jail and taking a course there, be with them in order to give them knowledge. That much amount of time you spend. Then after giving the knowledge, you move on. If they accept it, fine. Then you can be friendly with them. If they don't accept it, fine. They are not worth keeping. But I don't label them. ठीक है. If somebody in jail tells me मेरे को तो सिर्फ पाकिट मारना आता है, मैं तो वही करूंगा. ठीक है, that's all. And Gurudev has said 30% if the people get transformed, your job is 100% done in jails, or whether it is with terrorists.
और
When you're not
अधपतन
sitting
जब
in
भी
that
शुरू
room,
होता है,
हाँ,
परसी जी, अधपतन जब भी शुरू हो जाता है जब उनको ये विवेक बुद्धि खत्म हो जाती है कि हम क्या कर रहे हैं. तो यूएस की अभी स्थिति वैसे ही है.
that is what I'm saying कि like बस वो जब सद्बुद्धि आएगी तब आएगी. हम educate करके फिर we move on. That is what I'm saying.
Yeah, this Persij is saying whatever he's saying is supported by yesterday. Sumaji had posted one video about Guruji going beyond your likes and dislikes.
Cravings, yeah, desires and likes and
Yeah,
dislikes.
yeah.
वो अपने माइंड से इनर रिसेसेस से निकाल दो. वेदर इट इज फॉर नॉन वेजिटेरियन, वेदर इट इज फॉर कम्युनिस्ट, नॉन बिलीवर्स इन गॉड, whatever, atheist as they are called. Sanatan Dharma accepts everybody. अभी Christians when they are doing baptism, they are putting this thing bread में wine डाल के वो मुंह में रखते हैं. तो okay, they are taking wine. So what?
No, actually, when they were living in that country, that was needed like a medicine for them. For the cold or something like that. So rituals also came according to your places where and the mm, in the world the वहाँ का वातावरण कैसे है, क्या जरूरी है, वैसे बनता भी गया.
हाँ, तो बस फिर उसको लेबल नहीं लगाओ. That's what I'm saying. Then
Yeah,
then
correct,
only we
correct.
can have that kind of belongingness with everybody.
Because that's the
Unless
need of
belongingness
time.
नहीं है
Yeah.
तो फिर हम क्या, we are all one, we are one energy, ये सब बोलने के really that process has to start, that we eliminate this from our mind. इतना सारा नॉलेज 2 साल से मिल रहा है फिर भी. जय गुरुदेव.
Shall I continue with Satya? So ahimsa is your state of mind, and accepting everybody brings that sense of belongingness. Satya, Satyam here refers to speaking truth, because words can be hurtful. One is advised to say not only what is truthful, but what is also pleasing and beneficial. We have a mandate. There is a shloka here. Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyana, bruyat, satyam apriyam, priyam cha nanratam, bruyadesha adharma sanatanaha. Please someone read this in
Yeah. Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat, bruyat satyamapriyam, priyam cha nanritam bruyat, desha dharma sanatanaha. This is from the Manusmriti.
So we have to speak only what is truthful, satya. But while doing so, we may say something hurtful. So we are enjoined to say what is pleasant, priya. And what it is important to say what is pleasant, it should not be at the cost of what is true. It should not be false. Anratha. Why does anyone tell lies? It is only due to fear of facing certain facts about oneself. But not being truthful only makes a person weaker and weaker. Therefore, honestly facing situations and the facts as they are, and then being honest in conversation is the way to overcome some of these fears. In speaking about something, our words should convey the sense of it exactly as it is. That is, it has to be yathartha, with no omissions or embellished merits. What is satya and even priya may also sometimes be useless. We therefore try not to use words which do not serve any purpose. This implies care in using adjectives and in choosing words that most accurately convey what the thing or situation is. If you restrict your speech to what is useful, naturally you become conscious about what you say. So this is another jnana sadhana exercise in my thinking. Any discussion on this?
Do you mind repeating it again, please?
Yeah. Satyam. Satyam here refers to speaking truth. Because words can be hurtful, one is advised to say not only what is truthful, but what is also pleasing and beneficial. These are important, pleasing and beneficial. We have a mandate that is from this shloka, Satyam Bruya. We have a mandate to speak only what is truthful, Satya. But while doing so, we may say something hurtful. So this can be even in our tone while speaking the truth, our tone, our body language, our choice of words. We can inadvertently be hurtful. So we got to do mindfulness here. So this is jnana sadhana according to me. So we are enjoined to say what is pleasant, priya. And while it is important to say what is pleasant, it should not be at the cost of what is true. It should not be false. Antra. Why does anyone tell lies? It is only due to fear of facing certain facts about oneself. But not being truthful only makes a person weaker and weaker. Therefore, honestly facing situations and the facts as they are, and then being honest in conversation is the way to overcome some of these fears. So this is Jnana Sadhana here. Therefore, honestly facing situations and the facts as they are, and then being honest in conversation is the way to overcome some of these fears. In speaking about something, our words should convey the sense of it exactly as it is. That is, it has to be yadartha. Very powerful. It has to be exactly as the sense, we have to convey that sense exactly as it is, with no omissions or embellished merits.
So this requires a lot of skill.
Yeah.
Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat. So you say the truth, but in a way that is priyam, that is pleasing. I was just doing, it's coincidental that I was doing appraisals in my department, and appraisals are always not very nicely taken unless it's all you just put in whatever your, in order to please the person. If you just want to just give those fine ticks, then it makes no sense. Appraisal has no meaning. But then appraisal, I realized, when you're speaking the truth, sometimes it is unpleasant, and that ticks off egos of people. And I was just thinking how I could have done it differently, bringing out the truth as well as making it pleasant. So that requires a lot of skill.
And there is a chance of improvement to that person also. If the
Mm.
truth is spoken in the pleasant way, the man in the front or whoever is there is a chances to get improvise.
Yeah.
Which is why the last sentence is so important. Having an honest conversation. Sumaji, can you just read that last part?
I'll have to log in again. I ran out of battery. So you will have, I will have logging in again.
No issues. No, and anyway, I think we've got about 10 minutes left. We can just do Manana right now, maybe. That's okay. Yeah. Doesn't matter. We'll take up Satya again from tomorrow. We'll start from Satya tomorrow.
What about the lies? Can you say lies sometimes? Because that is not going to harm, and that is not going to harm anyone. So are you allowed to say any lies?
Sometimes lies for the improvement, but not for the hurting or something.
It will make you weaker. Remember that sentence there? It will make you weaker. Why does someone tell lies? Because they don't want to face or expose themselves and they become weaker.
Maybe I explain it a little bit so that I am clear of what I'm saying. Um, like when my mother was not well, I kept telling her so many lies. Like my brothers would say, you are such a liar. But at that moment, if I had told her some, the truth, I mean, very trivial things. It was nothing great. Like if some dish would be less in the kitchen, then she would insist that, oh, it should be served. Whatever I would serve, maybe I had made some dish only for her, and then she would insist that I should serve to my brothers also. But I didn't want to displease, because she wouldn't eat without giving it to them or giving it to everyone. then I would say, yes, yes, please come inside, and I would serve them. And then I would just act like I have served them, because I know without giving anyone, she would not eat. So I would just make an act of serving them, but I would not have served them. So many a times I have acted like this, told her lies, like if I've gone to pick up some medicines or something, then I would tell her, no, I'm going just for a walk. I mean, small things, trivial lies I have been telling her. And that was the time, every time I felt I'm telling her lies, but uh, because she would be, mentally disturbed with that thing in mind, I had been telling lies. So when it came over here, I was just wanting to know, what about these lies? That didn't make me weak. In fact, I felt that, uh, yeah, she's mentally at peace, and I have not disturbed her mental peace because she was not really well.
So your intentions were good. So it is not a lie.
Yeah, in one TRM, Gurudev said, you always tell people, see, come do Kriya, you come join the course, this will happen, this will happen. So I get that memory also. Yeah, how we can
But
sometimes say,
yeah, when you look
because
at
for
this,
the good of people.
I'm not sure whether that is, of course, your intentions were good, but it is like manipulating words. No, lie is considered manipulating words to get what you want. So here, if you look at it deeply, it is you want her to eat that. That was your wish. In order to satisfy that, you went to any extent, including saying a lie. So that actually becomes manipulation. So I'm not
Absolutely.
sure, isn't it? So
Yes.
there you're following your raga. You want to do this. Rather than that, if you stay with the truth, yes, this is how much is cooked. And from that, let everybody get little, let her get the bigger share, maybe. Let everybody also taste. Maybe that I'm just looking at it that way. And
Hmm.
also when you're going out to buy medicines, rather than say, I'm just going for a walk, just let her know the truth. The problem is we fear that we will not be accepted if we say the truth. It is a
May
fear.
not be, because see, like I had to hunt for a house. We had to shift, and there was very less time. And because she's the person who would, keep worrying and get tensed, and I didn't want her to go through that ordeal at that stage, because she's the person who will keep worrying and then, get tensed, and then I didn't want her to be in that state that time. So I would go for hunting houses, and all that. That time I would say to her, like, I'm just going for a walk, like that. Uh, I don't know. I mean, my brother would say, why don't you? As exactly what you are saying, my elder brother would say, and he has been sticking to what what was there, he would just say it, and he was free of it. But then, as you said, all the time I had that guilt of saying, but I felt
Exactly.
that
So
it was,
that is where
yeah.
I'm coming at. So that's exactly. So if you have said something and it is pricking you inside,
And that's why I came after such a long time. That guilt was there, and when this topic came, I'm
yeah.
asking, yeah, that guilt is definitely there of
So
telling
anything
lies.
that unsettles your mind or the other person's mind is not right. I mean, it is hurting you, right? So it is not um like Nana would always say, if what you have said or done does not make you feel guilty within, then that's fine. Go ahead. But if it is unsettling you, then there is something amiss over there. So it's good to relook at it.
I would put it this way. I still didn't know that whether I did it right or wrong. That was the
Mm.
conflict. I maybe
Yeah.
I might put it this way. Maybe
Mm.
not guilty, but I really don't know whether I did it right or wrong. That question came up. Definitely, that question came up.
See, I'm reminded of what Persiji, how he handled his son. when he was eating a lot of fast food, and he had shared the incident when his sugars and his cholesterol were going up, and how he just sat him down and had a very frank and honest conversation. So I think that we should cultivate rather than get into otherwise it becomes like a pattern. You're in order to get something, you're saying something, and that would become like a pattern. Rather than that, Satya, I mean, I was also like this. I continue. I mean, there are some instances when I still do this. That's why I'm able to say this, and I understand from where you're coming from. Intention may be pure, but in our own inner faculty, we will have to fine tune the way we um, deal with our own thoughts and what we say. That is again coming back to Arjavam. Because see, there is an element of not being in Arjavam when what you think, what you do, what you say and what you do, there is a little lack of integrity there, isn't it?
Mm.
Because what is there in your mind is you want to buy the medicine or go hunt for a house. What you're saying is different, and what you're doing is in line with what you thought. But this, what you say, is kind of aside, is stepped aside. That is where lies come. That is where manipulation
Yeah,
comes.
and that puts a lot of pressure on you, in fact.
Isn't
I,
it?
I could, yes, definitely.
So, like it said, when you say one lie, to cover it up, you have to say 1,000 lies.
Yeah, and I had to tell my brothers also to tell the same lies.
Mm.
That was so difficult.
Although it seems difficult, Satyam
Mm.
bruyat, but Priyam bruyat. So you tell her, yes, I'm doing this, but don't you worry, it's not going to be a strain on me or whatever, however you want to put it up. There is a need to do this. I know it is a
But if
difficult
she's
thing.
going to be, if her mother is going to be more worried I think your mother was not very good in health, I suppose. Is that
Yeah,
why
yeah,
that?
she was very
Yeah.
ill.
So in that case, this is my thinking. I'm not saying this is correct. In that case, I would take it on myself rather than putting the pressure on her to worry. And I would definitely would say I'm going for a walk, and I would now take it as a skillful action. And
Yeah,
what has
I mean, that's fine, but don't say something else. You can just say, yes, I'm just going out. That's it, finished. It's like Ashwatthama hatah kunjaraha. Even
Absolutely.
Krishna
And
said that. He didn't
ah,
say that, he didn't say false. Ashwatthama, and he said that loudly. Hatah kunjara. He mentioned that very softly. So it was actually, he said that to Dronacharya, whose son was Ashwatthama. So Dronacharya was, for him, it appeared as if his son was killed. But it's actually Hataha Kunjara, that it was an elephant named Ashwatthama.
that's right. And I would do that, like without telling, I would just go out of the house many a times so that I don't have to tell lies. But then that also is not right.
we have done that with children also, no?
Yeah.
We tell them lies and put food into their mouth, or tell them something and take them somewhere. We do that. I think these are all not things that is going to, again, this is my thinking, these are not going to affect or make impressions on your uh,
No, but
consciousness
that thought
unless you
has,
go with that thought
ah,
that
yeah, that thought
willfully
has
go
been
with that
there with
thought.
me. That thought has been, whether I did it right or not. Every time I'm telling lies, that pressure is there definitely. Like you have told lies because you're not used to such things.
This is a new beginning again. What we have lived before, that's gone. Now
Yeah.
the new spiritual life has started.
Everything Krishna Arpanam. What is finished, finished. Move on. Now we'll get little skillful in Triyambruya. But we also have to be courageous. Sometimes it's very difficult to face uh, people and say the truth without getting scared. That fear is there. Being honest in
Very,
conversation is the way to overcome these fears. So
yeah.
we
So
have to become stronger, not weaker. So
correct. This is exactly what I'm going through for the last 2 days. Is this appraisal that I did for one of my colleagues? She wasn't happy with that, and therefore I was being very honest, and appraisals are like a mirror where you know your strengths. I gave her all the due where she required, but there were certain things that I noticed, and I mentioned that. She did not take that in the right way. And I mean, that's how I was also appraised after my first 3 months of probation. So I thought, yes, this is, people are being honest. So I was also being very honest, and I mentioned it. It was not put up in a very derogatory manner, but I worded it well, but she didn't take it well. So she went to my higher up and had a conversation with him. So from then on, I've been going through a mental, should I say, disturbance. This fear of what is he thinking about me is going on, and I've been trying to process it from yesterday. On one side is the fear of being judged. Oh, what kind of a person is she? And on the other is this constant thought that yes, what I did was in the in a uh, with a view to bring up her positives and negatives. Otherwise, who will tell us? If you're only going to be praised, then where is the room for improvement? When unless someone points out your so-called weakness. So that that tussle is going on in my mind right now, and I said let it be. And what actually helped me is this knowledge. We learned about this abhayam, right? How we use the antidote, the antibody, and that word is this atma is imperishable. That is what stays. And this ahankara, which was playing around havoc in my mind, is the one that is thinking, oh, what are others thinking about me? What will happen to me? So with that antibody, I was able to, I'm not saying I'm completely successful in shelling out that fear, in cutting out that fear, but I'm feeling a little more rested right now than before. And in fact, I sat down with these two colleagues and I did a reappraisal. I asked them to tell me about themselves, and I actually reevaluated them. And then it is again not to please them, but to have a balanced ground. Although I still mentioned what I had mentioned initially, but I worded it a little differently, but I kept it there. I did not completely remove it. And then I let it go. So I
which
was,
is the
yeah.
antibody? The Atma is the antibody, is it?
Antibody is like yesterday we learned, abhayam is the thought of death. There is this thought
Okay,
of
okay.
fear of death which precedes the fear of death. The thought that this body is going to perish. That thought comes and then you get the fear, right? So for me, the thought of what is what is my higher up? What is my higher up going to think of me? What are the repercussions? So that thought gave me that fear, and I was actually for a while I was engulfed by that fear, and it was not a good state to be in. And then I said, how can I use this knowledge to get out of the state I'm in? It's all a story I'm building in my mind. Maybe my higher up is not thinking about me that way at all, but it is in my mind that I'm building up this story. So how am I going to use this knowledge to get out of the state that I'm not happy being in? So this knowledge about this abhayam and how Swamiji talked about that antibody, it is a pattern again, isn't it? This requires a little bit of abhyasa, understanding. You cannot mandate it saying, no, you should not be fearful. Then there is no understanding. That with that understanding, then you come, oh, this is my ahankara playing around. So what if it happens? I'll have an honest conversation with him or her and spell out why I did what I did. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Because at that point when I did the appraisal, I did it with a very objective, I did it very objectively without having any prejudice. So what I'm again coming back to saying is how this knowledge is helping me stay grounded. Although, like Dr. Savita had mentioned, there are times when you just go off, off balance, and that happened to me. But it is this knowledge that is like a life jacket that comes back.
Uh, can I just put one more experience which I had? Like my mother was not well when it was diagnosed. She met with 2, 3 doctors, to see where to get operated. And she chose the doctor who was very positive. He said, you are going to completely, recover from this. There will be very less blood, like for few drops of blood will be lost. Uh, I mean, no one will be believing in these things, but she believed in him and she went through the operation. She would not have done with other doctors. What doctor was saying was totally untrue, but he gave her that positive, hope. He gave her hope, though the chances were 50-50 of recovering. He gave her a hope. That's why she went through. Otherwise, she was reluctant because she's very old now. She's 86 or so. So she went through the operation successfully. So what doctor was saying, it was not totally true that it will be just a matter of 8 days of operation. She stayed there for 3 weeks, but he gave her that hope. Maybe he told her lies or whatever, or maybe he thought that it would be like that. I don't know, but it was not believable that just few drops of blood will be, lost. What do you say in this case then?
I'm reminded of what Gurudev told the Ukrainian after the Ukraine war happened and the refugees came to Poland. And Gurudev said that this was during that Easter time, that is February, the war broke out, and April was Easter. So around that time, he said, next Easter you will be in your homes in Ukraine. So at that time, I thought, wow, so much hope he's giving. Because I thought the war was not going to end. I thought it will end by some time, but I didn't expect it to go on like this also. But this is what comes to my mind. Gurudev gives hope. Even in the worst situation, he never says it is bad. He always gives hope. So this is Satyam Bruya, Priyam Bruya, I think. And the refugees are still in camps, in Polish camps. This is the second Easter that's coming up.
Because if she had been told the truth, maybe she would not have gone for the operation. That was the condition she was in.
See, every
But
surgeon, there is Satyam Bruyat and Priyam Bruyat here. Every surgeon takes a consent. And in that consent, there is the risk of surgery. All that has to be explained. It is not like every surgery is successful. No, there is an element of
correct.
failure. There's an element of complication.
Yeah, correct. That was
So,
in writing. She had to just sign it. But when
Sign
he
it.
talked to her
Yeah.
personally, he gave her
So,
lots of hope.
yeah. It is like that
Only hope.
Ashwatthama Hatah Kunjaraha. Isn't it? So that is where the skill comes in. where you you're saying the truth and you're saying it in a skillful manner.
Needs lot of skill, because you are speaking Satya, the other person is not understanding it. You feel agitated, and it comes in relationships, wonderful. Cannot describe it. When we get krodha also, we hurt also many times. Oh, it is. They say, if you cannot tell lies, you be silent. But that also is not good,
Not right. You should say it. That's why having that honest conversations are very important.
Important, but the opposite people may not be with you.
Correct. You must
It's
see
okay,
the
then you
state of
educate and
mind of the
ignore,
other
no?
person.
See, you are thinking that educating him, but the other person thinking that, oh, he has some,
agenda.
Agenda. That
But then,
makes it.
but then you are under the fear, you are taking this action. So that fear of losing that person would be there in you, isn't it?
But we cannot avoid Satya, no? We have
Correct.
to tell. And that spoils sometimes relationship. Okay, but again, we have to catch.
I think this is not as plain as 1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah.
If I remember right, Nana had mentioned there are different dharma sukshmas in this. That is why he said he's urged us to read the Mahabharata, where there are so many instances, so many incidents, so many little situations where these dharma sukshmas are brought out. So it is not as directly as what we are discussing right now, is Satyam Bruyat, Priyam Bruyat. That is the overall guide, yes. But individual situations, individually between husband and wife, between a parent and child, I think there are corollaries, like you can tweak it a little bit. That I think, unless we go deeper into our smriti, those different stories, we'll be able to get a better picture of that. Yeah.
Whatever it is, when you face the situation, you need that skill. That is the tough.
We have gone beyond time.
Yeah, we've gone beyond time. I think we'll stop here. We'll do the Shanti part, and I'll leave it to your choice, Dr. Sumaji, what you want to play.
Yeah, I'll play the Nirvana Shanti.
Okay. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.
This $36 gadget cleans any bathroom in 5 minutes. It's a new hand.
मनोबुद्ध्यहङ्कार चित्तानिनाहं न च चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न च प्राणसंज्ञो न वै पञ्चवायु न वा सप्तधातु न वा पञ्चकोश न वाक्पाणिपादं न चोपस्तपायु चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः गो न मे लोभमोहो मदोर्नैव मे नैव मात्सर्यभावः न धर्मो न चार्थो न कामो न मोक्षः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न पुण्यं न पापं न सौख्यं न दुःखं न मन्त्रो न तीर्थं न वेदा न यज्ञः अहं भोजनं नैव भोज्यं न भोक्ता चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न मृत्युर्न शङ्का न मे जातिभेदः पिता नैव मे नैव माता न जन्म न बन्धो न मित्रं गुरो नैव शिष्यः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् अहं निर्विकल्पो निराकाररूपो विभूत्वाच्च सर्वत्र सर्वेन्द्रियाणां न च सङ्गतं नैव मुक्तिर्न मेया चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहम् शिवो